family. And then one thing you should know for sure is that our goal is to democratize access to knowledge, to great mentors, and to investment. And so it's a family of people who are smart. It's a global village of smart people. And so if you're here, we are happy to have you here, and know that hopefully we will be the ones that will change the world. And we will see great companies come out from here. Thank you.
Thanks, Gideon.
Thank you.
So I'm Belinda. As you know, this is Stephen. We're from the Digital Value Capture Academy. And today I'm going to be interviewing Stephen, just to make it a little bit more interesting, about what makes an idea good.
No, but well, we're going to work out how to qualify and quantify good, okay, which makes it really interesting. Go for it.
And then one thing you should know for sure is that our goal is to democratize access to knowledge. Oh, yeah. I was wondering, maybe it might be interesting to introduce, so that Stephen introduces himself, so that people would know Stephen. Stephen is awesome. We spoke. Is one of the best advisors and mentors who has mentored many great men in Silicon Valley and in different parts of the world too.
Yeah, that's the advantage of being really old. Okay, so I've been around. I've been doing this in digital stuff since the 1980s. Started Europe's first DOS-based multimedia company, put the first bank online, and been always kind of curious enough to stay on the leading edge. Not a place to make lots of money for yourself, but that's never been my interest, but actually just breaking up and being purpose-driven. So I've kind of been involved in the whole kind of digital evolution right back then in Silicon Valley, Asia Pacific. So I've got a kind of a whole background. My day job is, I actually work out very complex problems for people on global scale, primarily trying to understand, if you introduce something new into the interconnected world, what will its actual, what would happen? What would the value be? And by value, I don't mean just money. That's a small bit. I mean, the actual value impact, what's of value, what's of worth to people, systems, enterprise, economies, so that if you're going to introduce something new, you want to understand what the unintended consequences might be, to the planet. What's it be to people? And that's what I do in my day job. But I've methodized all of that, and now I teach that at the Holt International Business School. And what I've been, some of the students are here now, and what we wanted to do is take all of that learning that normally is quite privileged. This costs a lot of money to learn in an environment like that. We wanted to get this down and share this knowledge with anyone, so it's affordable even if you have no money. Okay, and this is our first. Been working with Belinda. This is our first area, so we're getting everything into an app. So the module is free, and we're also putting the self-learning, that's free, and then we're driving down the kind of coaching to very small units of money, and we're just going to push it out and share the knowledge of what works. That's what drives me. That's my passion.
Great. Thanks, Stephen. All right. So, Stephen, you've been involved in a lot of hackathons in the past. I'm wondering whether there are any that stand out for you. Can you tell us about them and why they stand out?
Yeah, you're right. Been doing them since the 80s, but Silicon Valley was when they started really first taking off, and it was wild. Like one day you'd have an idea, next day you've got $10 million, okay, in your hand. Someone's just thrown money at you to go and make it work, and almost none of them did. Like it was 1 in a million, but the ones that did just became massive unicorns. So that was pretty wild. Done lots of different types. Outback Australia, people watch the movie Mad Max in communities there where people come together and just do really crazy stuff with technology. Fabulous with some of my indigenous mates, where they wanted to build a cashless community where white people could trade with Aboriginal people, but under their law, L-O-R-E. So white man's law would be subservient to Aboriginal law to their governance. That's just awesome. But I think the and I've done things with pinstripe suits, where you get hackathons with these business guys with just so much money, farmers, done it all. Lots of tech events. One that stands out was Arthur Brock with Holochain, which Holochain just launched this week. That just understanding that will take blockchain to another sphere of peer-to-peer and leveraging agency. But I think the three that stands out most. Imagine there was a thousand. It was 1,000 of us, handpicked, mostly really young people from around the world, flown to Portugal for a week to have a hackathon, and there was $120 million to be invested that year in whatever came to ideas, and it was just wild. Absolutely incredible, of just so many different types of skills all merging together. I mean, it was just a really intense week. Another one was where 250, again, we were all flown to Dublin, and that was very business orientated to make blockchain startups really work, bring them into mainstream, get them scaled up so you could actually change the world, change the financial system. That was really intense. And then one where VCs, it was, the venture capitalists, where they were trying, they don't know how to pick winners. They come along to an event like this, they know what to do with any of the projects which work, but they don't know which ones are going to work, which ones are going to be adopted. And that was very, very meaningful, because we're looking at how to change the rules by introducing not just monetary value or even crypto, but human generated value, human virtues into the equation. It's where they become tradable assets, they become currency, and that changes everything. And what I've realized from that, we're going to see in the next 10 years, this capturing of human virtues, human values, the stuff that really makes the world tick for us, that's going to be starting to move into our economy. So those were the real highlights.
Mm-hmm. So of those hackathons, Stephen, which ones were successful, and how successful were they?
Well, there was a lot of energy at hackathons. We all know that, right? Most hackathons, just huge, fabulous people, incredible ideas, just mind-blowing. Lots of confidence, very few results. I mean, when we talk about it from where people fund it, so some results in the sense that people, the technology was experienced good, but what we're looking at is very few became a successful business. Almost none of them. It's very difficult to find a blockchain project which had return on investment for the investors. And also a lot of game theory, not a lot of purpose behind it from a point of view. They tend to get separated. So, they're hard. They're really, really hard to get a good idea that flies and goes all the way through and gives back.
Mm. And so why is that, Stephen? What makes an idea a good idea?
Find that, fix that problem, fix the root cause, and all the others go. And every time you look at a scenario, that's what I encourage people at hackathons
First
to do.
one of those
Focus
is around
on
solve
backwards. What's that root problem? It might work for you. It only takes half an hour. Just ask five. So it all comes down to, does it work for them? Everyone's focused on themselves. And then you get to the root cause problem. That's your first really, really hard to get a good idea that flies. And it's all push. Fix that, and suck isn't good.
Great. Okay. And Stephen, how does the problem relate to pain? Talk to us a little bit about why pain is important in considering and refining an idea.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, and it rarely gets this far. People tend to stop at problems, but if you look at a problem, let's say you've got a problem where things there's just too much friction in the system. People talk about frictionless. That's why blockchain is so cool at getting rid of friction in a business process or an end-to-end process. Okay, so the problem is there's just this friction. It's just nothing really works. Nothing's joined up together, and it just creates heat. And the heat they're referring to, that's the pain. So if things take too long as a problem, then different things and different people. So people experience that pain, delay. So, you know, your parcel's late. It takes another month to buy a property. You then find the mortgage broker. That manifests as business pain. It manifests as for people as frustration, disappointment. So what we do is we map out, first, when we find the root cause problem, we find all the pain, and it's everywhere. And you realize that if you can knock off the problem, the problem is they don't get what they need out of it. If then it's good idea is just chasing problems or chasing one or two bits of pain, and it's all push. That effect can be very masculine, very problem.
So your first one of those is around solving problems. So can you talk to us a little bit about
pain to be reduced? So you know you'll build something that people want. You know, they need it because it meets their need.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, Stephen, in your model, which is now available as an app, how does that help people to actually measure and quantify pain? So you take this nebulous thing, the pain, which is all about people's experience. How do you actually get a sense of that and include it in a calculation that helps you arrive at whether your idea is good?
Yeah, well, you've got the app itself has got 3 parts to it, and it's just beta now. Okay, this is the final beta. The first part, which is kind of the most important one, we've got that free. What that does is actually teach you how to, and then you put in your results from either your knowledge or where you talk to people to figure out whether what problems exist, what's the root cause problem. You then take a day in the life scenario and you go and do it. You measure it. You can do that in quite complex ways. The easiest way to begin with is ask people. Everybody knows if they're feeling frustrated, they'll tell you, is it 1 or is it 10? Is it medium or low? So you'll have, this is high frustration. This is 9 out of 10. They're losing this much time. It's 20 hours a week. That's costing them $20 an hour. So you just get those measurements and you can see for the first time a really clear picture of how you can reduce that pain. So that's your first benchmark. Then you have a benchmark saying, great, I know I can improve on that. But the weird thing is, unless it can meet what you need it to be, people won't buy into it. It actually has to meet what they need. So the next thing is you ask them, what do you need to reduce that pain to for it to actually kind of function, to work? And people are very realistic. They won't expect it to go away. They want it to go. And then the next benchmark is you figure out what your app or your good idea, will it meet or exceed that pain? That's your first measurement. And what that allows you to do is measure your confidence as you go through the survey. And as you put information in the survey that you go and find, it measures their willingness based on, will it reduce their problems? Will it reduce their pain? And will it actually meet their aspirations? And then you've got a quadrant chart equation at the end of it. And my phone's just gone, so are you still there, Belinda? Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Yep. I'll work out how to hear you. And so what we've got is where we get to that stage, we've then got that first part of it. You've got an equation which you can then see that you're in the right quadrant chart. Your actual confidence is matched by their willingness. Because if you're really confident but they're not willing to adopt it, then you're in deep trouble. So and then the second bit, once you do that, you then dive down deep and do a very exact measurement on each pain point for each party, and then you can actually determine what the value impact of those benefits would be, and you can predict that. And then in the third part of the app coming out by the end of the year, you can then capture that value, tokenize it, and trade it.
Okay. Stephen, can you hear me?
Right. I'm just going to... I can't hear you at the moment. Can you phone me?
Yeah.
I can hear you then.
Okay. No, I can't, but I can put it in the chat.
You can call me. I'll just see if I can switch over my...
You can you hear me too?
I can hear you, Gideon. Yeah.
Stephen, can you hear me?
I'm just going into settings and see if it will let me switch over back to my speaker.
Okay. While we wait for Stephen, we'll keep talking about like
Right, how's that?
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
You can hear me, but I can't hear you, Belinda.
Let me see what I can hear.
Any chance you can call me?
Yeah. My phone's in the other room, Stephen.
Okay, so yeah, I will try.
Let me switch back.
Stephen, everyone
hold on.
can hear you. I believe everyone can hear you.
How are we doing?
Okay.
Bring him back again.
Oh, okay. He's going to come back. Good.
Yeah. Let me bring him back again, and then that should work. Yeah, hi, Stephen. Can you hear us?
I can hear you, but Linda can't hear me.
Yeah, I can.
I think Belinda can hear you now. Belinda,
all right, we're working.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Working.
Oh, that was huge.
Oh,
okay,
right.
so Belinda.
Okay, all right. So we've talked about problem. We've talked about pain. Can you talk to us a little bit, Stephen, about the solution? And so part of your idea, part of your good idea, is the solution that you've found to somebody's problem, and that will reduce the pain that they're experiencing. Tell us a little bit about how you can tell whether the solution is right for the idea.
Oh yeah, that's really good as well. If you work back from the problem, then by the time you get back to the solution, you know the characteristics of what you need. So for example, you might need to be able to enter into contracts. So you know you need a smart contract if you're using blockchain. You know it might have to be secure, but you also mean that it can't be changed. So you need to put it into an immutable record. Also, if you need governance, then that's either if you need to be able to create rules which are common to everybody, or one-to-one, and peer-to-peer, that will tell you. So you actually work out what you actually need, so that you can sit down with a developer or sit down with someone who's going to do your front-end design with a very exact and precise requirements. How they go about building it, you don't have to know anymore. So you don't have to become technical. What you have to do is be able to work, so you can work in collaboration with people who understand the platforms and understand the latest developments. So by working backwards, if you work the other way, you build something and you try and find a problem. You're then trying to actually ask people to change behavior. You're trying to give them things they might not want, or give them things they don't need. So that's why you work backwards, and it tells you very precisely a list of what you want. And the app will actually ask you to put that in. It generates a report of all the things that you need. And you can then give that to the developer, sit down, and the developer then for the first time understands why you need it, because it's to solve that particular problem. It's to reduce that sort of pain. And that's when you get this fabulous collaboration. You get the real innovation occurring, and the spontaneity and the creativity between different teams, because you're all focused on the purpose and the meaning of what your good idea is about.
Great. Thanks, Stephen. So we talked a little bit before about willingness versus confidence. Yeah. Can you just wrap that up for us again, because it's where people get to when they use the app, right? It's where they arrive at the end. Tell us how they can see whether their idea is good and how good their idea is at a glance.
Great. Well, if everybody, as I say, the app's in beta. By the end of the weekend, we'll have what we're adding to the app are all the free video clips, the whole self-learning, to each question. So you can look at a little video and it'll help you. But even now, you can play with it. And it'll take you about half an hour to fill in the survey if you've got some idea of what you're doing. And if you haven't, it will show you where your gaps are. So what you do is, as you fill through it, first of all, looks at the pain within the enterprise or startup, and that will give you a score rating. What that rates is how willing will they be to, in the first instance, help you fund or support you so that you could actually build your app. Because that's what you're trying to do in day one. That's why this first one is so important and so useful for this event. And then and you ask them. You've got to wait and to articulate. If you don't already know, you can go and check that and just do a sanity check and do a rain check on your position. So you've got a position on the problems in the enterprise or the business, then in the ecosystem where you talk to the people that you're dependent upon. This is a really good thing to do if you're going to depend on them. Better know whether it asks you ask them, hey, do you recognize my pain? This is the problem I'm trying to sort out. Do you understand it? Do you care about it? Do you want to fix it? Would you help me fix it? How does that pain you? So you work backwards. And then you dive into a real life scenario, a day in the life of a customer, and look at their life. It's fabulous. You do it that way. So you really feel it. You understand what they're going through. And you get a rating for them. So you have those 3 ratings. Whether it would meet their needs, and that's the willingness. If it meets their needs, then you get a willingness score that they would actually embrace that, because it solves the immediate pain that they experience day to day. And that gives you your quadrant chart, your measurement out of 1 to 10, and then your confidence, because it asks you how confident you are at the beginning at different points, based upon what you've discovered. And it's really interesting in that quadrant. Ideally, you want to be high confidence and high willingness. Sometimes it's still cool if you're not so confident, but they're willing, because you may be, a little risk adverse. But if you're super confident and they are super unwilling, that's where so many of the projects fit. You're totally convinced it will work, and you've never asked them. You've never reached out and felt their pain. So this kind of gets people really feeling what's going on, and it gives you a whole overall comprehension. And that's the first benchmark, if you like. And if you've got that, and that means if someone's evaluating your good idea, they can have a high level of confidence your idea is going to fly. So they'll back you.
Great, thanks, Stephen. All right, well, so I want to share my screen now because I want to talk about how people can use this app for Babylon. Yeah. So as you know, there's a big prize for the Babylon project. Using this app could improve your chances of winning the big prize. So the app is free, and there's a free course that goes with it with video help. So we strongly suggest that everybody actually runs their idea through this app before the hackathon starts. Now, we're also offering a separate prize for the best good idea. All right, and we're going to use the kinds of criteria to evaluate that Stephen has talked about today, like how well have you assessed the problem, how well have you assessed and tapped into people's pain, and how good a fit is your solution. Some of Stephen's current and past students from the Holt International Business School are going to judge that good idea contest using criteria like the ones we've described today. And the prize for the team that wins is a group mentoring package where Stephen and I will work with your team to help you develop a pitch for seed funding that is value driven, meaning we help you drill down into the value creation potential of your idea and actually get some more evidence around it that you can use as the basis for a real value driven pitch to an investor. So next, people were asking for links in the chat. Here they are. Okay. Register for the Problem Buster app. That's your first step. And start assessing your idea. You do that at digitalvaluecapture.com. You can also, you can look at the videos from within the app. You can also sign up for the course where all the videos are collected together and bundled up into one free mini course. There's a shortened bit.ly link there for the videos if you want to sign up for those directly. And then the app actually generates you a report. It's a pretty substantial report, about 20 pages with charts and all sorts of fancy things in it. You can submit your final report that the app generates for your chance to win that group mentoring package. We're also going to give away some of the future app modules that are paid, and a few other prizes as well. We will let you know about how to submit your final report over the next couple of weeks before the hackathon. So there's your next steps. I am going to stop sharing and come back to the main room and see if we've got any questions. Thanks, Anastasia.
If you have any questions, I think you can equally wave. You can drop the questions down, or you can wave. And then if you wave, if you feel like talking, you can also talk too. So you're allowed to talk. This is pretty much more interactive. So if you want to talk, we can let you talk. Or if you want to share your idea, right? So if you have an idea you want to talk about, you can share your idea, and then we can try to break it down and try to maybe use one company as an example.
So Gideon, can you see the chat?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Where can I find the team members? Yeah. So all the participants will use Discord. I think you know Discord, so Discord/Slack. So we all use Discord. The Discord group right now, the Discord server is currently private. We have just 30 ambassadors there right now. So we have 30 ambassadors from different countries. However, the Discord group will be open by October 1st to all the participants. So people can start joining from October 1st to October 9th. Now, within this period, you have time to form teams, to meet other people. You can also come with your own team, or you can come alone and then find other people and then form teams, right? We want to place the number of people in each team to around maximum 6 or maybe 10, but we prefer to have maximum 6 people in a team. We will share the information to the Discord channel via your email. So I believe everyone here has registered, and then you received emails from us. If you have registered or left your email with us, we will share the Discord link with you 1st October. So in that place, that's the right time for everyone to mingle and then get to talk with each other and then form teams. Yeah. So we have 9 days to do that, from 1st October to 9th October. And then why ideas are very important. Essentially, the winning team gets $100,000, right, which is as an investment. And this is pre-seed. Pre-seed essentially is you have an idea and then it works. You think it's going to work. It can be applied in the real world. So we are basically looking for real life cases, right? Real use cases. You can come in with a new idea and then work to make make your idea win, or you can also come in with an existing company, right? So let's assume you have a startup, or your friends that have startups that are already running, and then they need funding. And then if the companies are good, they can also participate. However, they will have to build new features during the hackathon.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Gideon. So there's a question in the chat from Vivek. Stephen, can you, I'm going to read it to you. Should we start by talking to potential customers who might want to use our apps prior to diving into the hackathon? So,
yes, Vivek, what I would strongly implore you to do is not just talk to them, but feel them. Okay, feel how much pain they're in, understand their problems. So get the app today. Have a look at, it's a survey which you have to answer. So the way it's structured is it tells you what you need to know to move to the next step. And then if you don't understand that, you're encouraged to go and talk to the people that you believe in, either in if it's an enterprise, or very often it's a startup amongst you. But more importantly, the people you're going. So go talk to them and ask them those questions. All right, ask them to do the survey with them. Just run through. What I would do is run through the survey yourself, print out the report, have a look at it, and then go and talk to people so that you can fill in the gaps of your understanding. And it will blow you away, because you suddenly realize, oh no, there's a lot more pain my app could actually deliver and get rid of. So what this is all about is leveraging the full value of your app. So when you make a value proposition, whether that's to an investor or to the customer, you're talking directly to them. You felt them. You know exactly how they feel. You know the problems they're grappling with. And what you'll be able to say is, my app will reduce that problem by this %. It will reduce this pain of frustration from 9 to 6. And of course and what it will also do is it will help people in that role who have an aspiration to do something. It will help them. Now, the great thing is when you then go down into the deep dive, because you're really convinced it will work, you're so totally confident, and you get to the next stage. So after the hackathon, you can then use the next bit to then go and get an even deeper report. What will come out by the end of the year is you go back and validate. You can validate that directly with everybody. You can get digital attestations, in a blockchain form, that your good idea reduced that frustration, reduced that time, made that much money, reduced the cost, and also created new types of digital assets, which over time, as we know, will exceed the market valuation of the business itself. That's the potential. And with that, you'll have contracts that you can create as a developer or a consultant or an individual, so that you can take a clip of that value you're going to generate right at the beginning. You can range it. You might say, well, I'll work for less, but I want 5% of the digital assets I generate, which may well be worth millions. Okay, and it's a way of democratizing the work, because at the moment, the people who do all that work and develop very often make the least. So it's a way of spreading it out and spreading, so there's enough for everyone. So yeah, do it.
Yeah.
And then also, one of the very reasons why you should use the app is that when the hackathon starts, and then there are several ideas, when you use the app and you have your data, right, it's a good way to also convince other people that, hey, this idea makes sense. I've actually gone through different processes, and then to show other people who want to join your team why they should join your team. And if you do that, it will also help you in terms of building your deck to have actually a better argument, right, that you're solving a specific problem. And a very good example is the tool we're using for this hackathon, right, QUICKOM. This is actually a blockchain-based video conferencing tool. And why it really makes sense is that it uses very little, very minimal internet, right? So that's why everyone can hear us. And all of you can turn on your video and everyone can be present. without having to talk, and then we can add anyone in. So basically, it's using decentralized internet, and that's the essence, right? It solves a specific pain because there are many people who are in different parts of the world where they don't have enough internet, right? And so from anywhere you are, you'll be able to use this tool, and then you have equally great experience, right? And so it's essential to make sure you refine your ideas, and that will likely grant you the chance to win. Equally, I've sent the link to the accelerator. It's called 𝗕𝗲𝗓.com. So they are the accelerator that is funding the main prize. They are currently accepting cohorts for this year. If you go, maybe you can apply, and if you're lucky, you might get in before the hackathon. However, the winner of the hackathon gets $100,000. They are based in New York, and then they will also get mentorship. Plus, we will support the winner with all our community. There will also be different prizes ranging from few $100s to thousands of dollars, and then there will also be drones, some hardwares to be won. And then, yeah, that's much about that.
All right. Well, I don't see any other questions for now. So apart from how do we find team members, and I think the answer to that is Discord, right, Gideon?
Discord.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks, everybody, for joining us today. We will have a recording of this session as well for anyone who couldn't be here live, and in case you missed a point and you want to see it again. And we'll see you closer to the hackathon.
Yeah, we'll see you at the hackathon. And please, before you go, do you mind writing the country where you are listening from? It's interesting to know which countries they are listening, because it's pretty late. In the US and in different places. We want to know the countries. Oh my God, this is pretty awesome. Wow.
Cool.
There we go. A lot of friends here from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan.
Yeah, the time zone is pretty awesome for people in India and Pakistan. In the US, it's pretty late. I'm here in San Francisco. It's 11 a.m. Yeah, almost 11 a.m. Yeah, Philippines. Yeah.
Okay, and just on the final note, I was talking with Belinda earlier that we have a hunch, and we're going to talk with Gideon about it when we get the feedback. But after we've got through the hackathon and lots of people have been using the Problem Buster, we'll do another event to show people how to then do the deep dive. So even if you didn't win, we can then help you on how to put a report together to get support, to get either crowdfunding, so you can create a value proposition based upon all the work that you've done. So none of it will go to waste. And we'll have an event like this, and by then, we can also invite the whole students to play a role in that, in being able to talk to people and share their experience, because their ideas and some of the projects they've been developing are really awesome. And that would just be great to start sharing and really share the knowledge of what works. And that's part of what the app will do is that the app will give you own the intellectual property, you own everything. We assign the rights, so it's not even ours. And you only allow us to use it by consent. What it means is that we can share the analytics for the common good. Okay, so I'm really looking forward. Use it, give us feedback if it is beta, we're just nailing it down. We'll have those videos over the weekend or Monday at the latest, and use it. This is like 10 years work gone into this app. So it's for you. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, everyone. Lovely to see you. See you again.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great time. We will update you with more information. The agenda will be available on the website by Monday. So you can go to the website and see the agenda. And then on the 1st of October, we'll open up the Discord channel to all the participants. Feel free to invite more of your friends to come join, and then let's get this going. Looking forward to seeing who the winner of this year's hackathon will be. And we hope that winner comes into a unicorn. Thank you, and have a good day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.